If you are tired of being tired, feeling drained, spent, burnt out, like you got nothing left, you're going to want to watch this video to figure out what may be draining your energy. In a previous video, I talked about how to restore your energy, things that may be fueling you or recharging your battery. And today I wanted to dive deeper into this whole notion and talk further about what may be draining your battery and your internal energy. You know, you may know that I'm a nutritionist, and thinking that we're going to be talking about just food and exercise and how those two aspects are going to either create energy or spend your energy. And while those are variables into how we create the energy that we have to use, and how the movement or the exercise uses the energy, which actually can create more energy, interestingly enough. However, I wanted to dive deeper today into this again on a holistic level, because we need to address ourselves as the holistic beings that we are: mind, body, heart, and soul. We need to factor all of that in when we are looking at any aspects of ourselves from a health perspective. So I want to help you today to see what may be draining your own internal battery, and each of these aspects may be very different to each person. So we talked about in the last video, this, like, the whole conversation about metabolism, and you may know that I'm a metabolic balance coach. So dealing with metabolic issues and hormones is really important and a really big foundation to what fuels our energy and what can drain us. There is much more to it than just food alone. So I wanted to dive deeper into this. And again, just like in the last video, we are all unique. Our needs are unique, our bodies are unique, how we operate, our preferences, our likes, our experience, our health history, all of that is completely unique. So these are just examples of some things that can drain your energy that I kind of want to invite you to consider, so that when you're looking at yourself and asking what may be draining you, that you're looking at it from a zoomed out perspective, and you can actually do your own analysis of where you may be having some energy leaks. So obviously, if we're going to be starting with our health and our body and how it functions, as I mentioned, and as you probably know yourself, is completely unique. How you operate, what you like, completely different. The experiences, the traumas that you've had, very different than mine. So how your body functions, the inflammation that it has, how your metabolism works, the injuries that you've had, if you do strenuous activity. So these unique biochemical responses are going to be very different for each person, and how they may actually drain us. So do you have a lot of inflammation? Do you have digestive issues? These are all questions to ask yourself, where the energy or increased amount of energy you would need increased amount of energy to be able to deal with these types of imbalances or these unique kind of situations that's going on in your body functions. That's a long way around to say your unique body functions could be potentially what drains your energy faster than someone else's, or less. The amount of stress that you have, and it's really interesting. Stress is very much perception. Two people can do the exact same task, and one person can view it as stressful and the other one can view it as joy and as pleasure. So stress is really perceived, whether it's emotional, mental, physiological, imagined, perceived, or real. The stress that our body goes through, the physiological response is still the same, regardless of where the stressor is coming from. So the quality and perception of stress is really something to focus on. And maybe we can dive deeper into this into the future, how we actually look at our stressors, or some ways to negate its impact, or maybe to remove entirely. In fact, I do have a resource that may be able to help you. I'll link it down here below so that you can refer to it. It is a stress management guide. Now that I'm thinking about it, that may be able to support you if you are dealing with stress. I mean, we're all dealing with stress, but depending on how active you want to be in reducing the amount of stress. the exposures that you have to toxins. Now, you may think that, oh, I'm not ingesting any toxins, I'm not exposed to, harmful chemicals. However, when we talk about toxins, toxins are inherent in so many things, in nature, in our foods, in our environment. In fact, there's five predominant uh, toxins that are found in every single Canadian, regardless of where you live and regardless of your age. We can talk deeper about that into the future, but I just kind of wanted to plant the seed again about toxins. They're inherent in foods, whether they're coming from preservatives or antibiotics, food colorings, preservatives, those sorts of things, beauty care products, how you clean your house and your household cleaning products, the stuff you put on your skin. So we are exposed to a lot of different toxins, including environmental toxins, electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs, radio waves, those sorts of things. So the level of exposure that each one of us has is uniquely different. Without getting into that, I just want to give you a bird's eye view today. We're going to dive deeper into each of these as the time goes on into each of these series. The relationships that we have, are they supportive? Are they draining? Are they shitty? You know what I mean? Next would be our thoughts. The quality of our thoughts can be draining us. If we are repeating, which we often do, the same thoughts over and over again, we get to choose. Are they supportive thoughts? We get to choose our thoughts. We can have a pattern interrupt and choose supportive thoughts. So catching our own internal dialogue is really helpful, and understanding, is it actually a supportive thought that you want to carry on into the future? The food that we eat, that can be draining our energy or supporting us. We'll talk deeper about that into the future. The quality of the environment in which we live, our indoor environment, whether that is your home or where you work or where you spend a lot of time. So the pollutants that may be inherent, the lighting source, the air quality, those sorts of things are going to support us energetically or also drain us. And again, very different for each person that's watching. The technology that we're exposed to, how much screen time do we have? I don't know what the percentage of technology is in each person's life. It's very nuanced, I'm sure. And while it's very supportive for us to carry out tasks, the light exposure and what it does to our brain activity and our brain function and concentration and our area of visibility, that can also be very draining. So how much time you spend in front of a screen and looking at devices can be an indication of how drained you may feel. And interestingly, exercise. While exercise can be very supportive and build energy, too much of it or the wrong kind or the wrong intensity at the wrong time can also be very draining. So these are the topics that I want to dive deeper into the future. And just to give you an overview, the things that I mentioned here are your unique body functions, the amount of stress that you have, your relationships, your thoughts, the quality of your food, your internal environments, the technology or screen time that you have, and exercise levels. So the question now becomes, is what drains your energy? I'd love to know. If you want to comment below, please feel free to share it. If something comes to mind that you think may be draining your energy and you can acknowledge it, the first step is awareness. So whether you want to claim it here publicly or you want to make this a journal prompt, I'd invite you to do that. And please stay tuned, stick around. We're going to dive deeper into these subjects of energy draining and fueling aspects and techniques. Feel free to subscribe and be notified of when I release future videos. I would love to hear what you think is draining your energy. Thanks for watching. See you next time.